What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, alright, we're coming back to U2. Yes, indeed. U2 fans feeling you. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-boobity bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Steve Smith, and this is actually one of Steve's 3 prioritized requests for the month of June for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So, here you go, Steve. Hope you enjoyed the show. Steve wanted to see me react to this is U2 with a tune entitled New Year's Day. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard this song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, yeah, I've heard this song before, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Let's see. This was posted by Dolan C1234, all right? And the video has 2.2 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. 04. U2 New Year's Day Slane Castle 2001 Live HD. So I'm guessing this is the 4th song of the set. Okay. That gives me an idea of what we kind of should be looking for, at least. As far as expectation within the confines of the show go anyway. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
I've got this nagging feeling like I've heard this before. There's nothing concrete. Like, there's nothing that I'm like, that's making me go, oh yeah, I know I've heard this before. I know for a fact I've heard this before. I'm not getting that, but I'm getting a lot of flashes of familiarity. Nothing solid, nothing that lasts for more than 2, maybe 3 seconds. And then it disappears. And then that same feeling of familiarity comes back for another flash. And then it lasts for like 2 or 3 seconds, and then it disappears. I feel like I've heard at least bits and pieces of this song in passing somewhere. And not just one time, multiple times. I'm just trying to put my finger on where and under what circumstances I've heard it before. At least the bits and pieces. The first thing that comes to mind, I'm probably wrong about this. The first thing that comes to mind would be like a commercial, like a television ad. I don't know if that's the case, but it's like, seriously, it's like 2 or 3 seconds. It'll ring a bell with me. It'll resonate with me, and then it disappears. And then like 5 or 6 seconds later, it comes back, and I'm like, it doesn't last long enough for me to be able to nail it down and go, okay, I know for a fact I've heard this song before. I know I heard the entire song. See, I don't think I've even heard the entire song. But there's like bits and pieces, little things that are resonating with me. Now, maybe that's because it's a different song that I'm recollecting that sounds very similar. That is a possibility. But I don't know, man. Something tells me I've heard this song in bits and pieces. It's got a nice feel to it. It sounds good. It's pleasing to the ear. I love the use of thirds within the bass. You know, root note to the third to the root, and then shifting down to the new root to the third to the root, and then moving up to the new root to the third to the root. I love that play on thirds. It works really well. It's very pleasing to the ear. It keeps the song moving more than anything else. To some extent, I would even say more than the drums. The drum pattern is very basic, very simple. I don't know if withheld is the word I'm really looking for, but it feels like there is like holding back, like he's withholding, especially in the verse. Now in the chorus, it feels like he's kind of cutting loose a little bit more. So I think the withholding is maybe, I was gonna say reserved, but I think it's more like withholding. I think that's more accurate. Edge playing the piano, switching between piano and guitar, that's nice. Giving different voices, different work assignments, assigning, the workload to different instrumental voices. I think that makes perfect sense. A lot of commercial value in what I'm hearing. And I think that lends itself a lot to my, I don't want to say recollection, because I'm not recalling the song as an entire song. I'm getting flashes, just flashes of familiarity. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe by the time we're done, maybe it'll all sink in. I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see.
Arms entwined like a chosen. The newspaper says it's true.
See, now like the drums really start to kind of cut loose a little bit there. See, that piano line more than anything else is what I'm recognizing.
Maybe just once. Just once. Close your eyes and imagine it's Jason McAteer.
And then seamlessly transition to the guitar. Yeah, I still can't put my finger on it. I'm still not able to pinpoint where I heard this song before, or even the circumstance. And I don't believe I've heard the entire song before. The only thing that was really causing the flashes of familiarity more than anything else was that piano line. Dun, 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 dun. That more than anything else was what was making me go, this sounds familiar. But that was it. Everything else did not sound familiar. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, does that invalidate the reaction or not? I don't think it does. I think we're going to be safe. Let me think about this. I need to weigh everything against each other. I don't have a definitive answer yet. So let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was U2 with New Year's Day. This was a request from Steve Smith. And this was actually one of Steve's 3 prioritized requests for the month of June for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So there you go, Steve. Hope you enjoyed the show. I found myself in a little bit of a quandary because, like I said, during the course of the reaction, I found myself having these little flashes of familiarity. I was able to nail it down to what it was that was causing those flashes. It was that piano line. But that was it. Like, everything else about the song was unfamiliar to me. I didn't recognize anything else other than that piano line. So, thinking about it, taking everything into consideration, I am going to count this as a legitimate reaction to the song. Majority of the song did not sound familiar. The majority of the song was fairly new to me, other than the piano line. And I wasn't able to pinpoint where or under what circumstances I've heard that piano line. I think it might have been used in a commercial, possibly. I'm not 100% sure about that. But I mean, it was, whatever it was brief and it was repetitive, because that's what really kind of hammered home the fact that I was able to recognize the piano line is because it had been just pounded into my brain through repetition. So whatever it was, it's either maybe it was a theme song to a television show that I watched, frequently. I mean, that's also a possibility. But whatever it was, that piano line I've heard multiple times, repeatedly. So commercial, very possible. Television show theme, very possible. I'm not sure. But in any case, we are going to count this as a reaction. So let's get to the score and we'll go from there. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that overall presentation a 6.7. Yep, 6.7. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, a 6.7. What does that mean? Well, a 6.7 would translate to a pretty good skill rating. So, overall, I think it's a pretty good song, or at least a pretty good presentation. It would get 3 out of 5 stars and a B letter grade. B as in boy. So there you go, a 6.7, pretty good skill rating, 3 out of 5 stars, and a B letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. Okay. The song as a whole, it's a pretty good song. It is. It's not an impressively written song. It's not an impressively arranged song. But, I mean, it is pleasing to the ear. It's solid songwriting without question. I love that piano line. I know I was saying that it sounds familiar, and it absolutely does. But there's definitely a hook there within that piano line, without question. Why it's hooking, I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's that pleasing to the ear, or maybe, like I said, maybe it was just, hammered into my brain through repetition. But in either case, I recognized it. And when you're writing a song like that, a song that you are hoping becomes a hit, you definitely want that hook. You definitely want that hooky appeal, which that piano line absolutely had. The bass playing, I love the bass line, the utilization of the thirds. Whenever he would move or modulate on the neck, he would, have the new root established, and then, he would utilize the third of that root. I think that's really smart. Keeping it, I mean, okay, could he have done fifths? Yeah, he could have done fifths, absolutely. Fifths, I think, would have been stronger. And therein lies the problem. I think if he had gone with fifths, I think it would have become overpowering. And I think the bass line would have become the main attraction. By utilizing thirds instead, the bass line remained a little more on the subtle side. It kind of remained, as a support, as opposed to becoming the main. And I think that's important for this song, because you want that piano line to be the main, right? Or whatever Edge is playing, whether it be guitar or piano, you want that to be the focus in this song. Absolutely. And with Adam playing around with thirds instead of fifths, I think that made it possible for that to be achieved. So really a smart move on his part. Vocally, Bono sounded just fine. I've heard far more impressive vocal work from him in other songs. Far better and far more impressive vocal delivery in other songs. But what he sang sounded good. It fit within the context of the song. It definitely lent itself well to what was happening within the song. So it was very conducive. And I've always said this when it comes to vocals. What's more important? Is it more important to show off your vocal ability, or is it more important to sing and contribute to the song in a way that's conducive? And I believe wholeheartedly it's the second one's more important. There's always going to be other songs where, you can show off your vocal ability, absolutely. But this should not be the song to do it. And he didn't. So that's good. The biggest thing that impressed me, if I'm being honest about this song, there were two things that really stuck out to me. Number one, the drumming. What was happening within Larry? What Larry was doing within the verse, having that ability to hold back. And let's be honest, it wasn't him playing reserve. He was playing what he was playing was stylistically, it was on the aggressive side. It was pushing the song, absolutely. But when it came time for him to cut loose, he did. Not just from a dynamic standpoint, but from an approach standpoint as well. Adding more attention to the snare, getting a little more not aggressive, but a little more, not focused. What's the word I'm looking for? Utilizing the kick a little bit more. When it came down to the chorus, putting more emphasis on it. That's the word, emphasis. Putting more emphasis on everything, honestly. And I'm not just talking about from a dynamic standpoint. Like I said, I'm talking about from an approach standpoint, from an attack standpoint. It got far more, not aggressive. Not aggressive, but it became he cut loose is what it really comes down to, rather than holding back like he was on the verses. I like that because it was interesting to see how he pulled that off. That's not an easy thing to do. Jazz drummers are notorious for it, and watching him do it, it was really nice. And the other thing that really kind of impressed me was Edge. Not so much the fact that he was playing two different instruments, but how he transitioned between the two as smoothly as he did. It literally picked up right where the other left off. When he would switch from piano to guitar, there was no rest. It wasn't like he rested for a measure or two and then came in. It literally ended from piano right to guitar. In a live setting, making that as smooth a transition as he did, I gotta say, that's pretty impressive. So I definitely gotta tip the cap to him on that. So overall, I mean, from the songwriting standpoint, it's a fairly simplistic song, as far as, chordal progression and melodic lines go. It's nothing really to write home about, but it is catchy. It is definitely catchy, especially that piano line. As far as the live show goes, if I'm being honest, the live show, it didn't hurt, but it didn't help. There wasn't enough happening on stage for it to add to the score in any way. Okay, let's go down the checklist. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. Let's go down the checklist. Stage presence, yeah, check. They, by default, these guys naturally have it. Stage energy, getting a check, but it's a weak check. There was very minimalistic movement happening on stage. I just didn't really see anything that really caught my eye as far as movement on stage. So, stage interaction, none, zero, zilch, nada, big fat goose egg. There was no interaction with any of the members of the band. Crowd interaction, yeah. I'm gonna give it a check. I've seen better. I've seen way better. Not just from other bands, but just from you too. I've seen better crowd interaction than what we saw here. I mean, it was there. It was very casually done. So, I'll give it the check, but it's a bit of a weak check. Showmanship. Yeah, I'll give it the check, but it's kind of a weak check. I've seen better from them. I've seen way better from them. But there was some showmanship. The utilization of the flag, that was complete coincidence. If that flag had not been thrown to Bono, I think the showmanship would have been, a lot weaker. But being able to utilize that prop he did in an improvisational way, I mean, I guess I could count that towards showmanship. So, like I said, I'll give it the check, but it's a weak check. Production, I mean, there was lighting, and there were video screens. That's about it. All pre-programmed, yes, so they all fit within the context of the song. But I mean, there's not a whole lot more than just, like I said, lighting and video screens. So, yeah, like I said, it didn't hurt the score. The score didn't come down because of the live show, but at the same time, I don't think there was enough to add to it either. So, 6.7, yeah, I feel good about that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have a 6.7, which is a pretty good skill rating, 3 out of 5 stars, and a B letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well, then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.